What's up, everybody? Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hadfield. Joining me this week is Tina Amini.
Hello,
Sam
Scoop.
Claiborne.
Hey.
And Mark Medina.
Hi.
And we've got a great show for you this week. We're going to talk about Battlefield 5. We're going to talk about Cyberpunk 2077. But first, Game Scoop 500 is imminent, and you can get your ticket to the big show right now. Mark and I have been working on this quite a lot lately.
It's going to be.
This is Mark.
Yeah,
This is Mark, yeah.
That's me. Yeah.
It's coming up October 5th for 500. That's why I picked that day. It worked
That's
out.
good.
Not because it was the first Friday of October.
October 5th.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So it can be Halloween themed.
Yeah. Well, maybe a little
It could
bit.
be Halloween themed
what about
any
just
month
fall?
of the
It
year.
could be a Halloween kickoff,
Fall.
Halloween
Nice.
season
Yeah, I
kickoff
like
party.
fall.
Autumn colors?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all
Autumn
have to
colors,
dress
for
in autumn.
I think I'm wearing autumn
I
colors
do
right
that
Yeah.
every
little
day
early for
already.
now. It's true. I should
Not
be wearing
even
summer
not
colors.
even September yet, Sam. Anyway, Mark, GameScoop 500. People can get tickets right now.
They can.
Where do they get those tickets?
Right here on this website, GameScoop500live.eventbrite.com.
One more time.
GameScoop500live.eventbrite.com.
All right, tickets are $15. They're limited to 100.
Yeah.
100 super fans.
That's cheaper than a feature-length movie in San Francisco.
That's actually true.
That's depressing.
And your ticket gets you a seat, it gets you food, and then we're going to have an exclusive T-shirt that is not going to be available anywhere else.
None of that you would get that with a movie.
You don't even get
That's
any of that
true.
stuff.
I think the shirt alone is probably worth $15.
if you come out of a movie with a T-shirt, you've done something wrong.
Anyway, so hit up that link that Mark read out, and we look forward to celebrating with you all in just a little over a month. It's coming right up.
It's going to be fun.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Do you remember what episode 2 was about?
No, I don't. It would have been still June 2006.
Because last week I asked, well, this is weeks ago now, because you guys have been world traveling, but I asked
Yeah,
you what
true.
episode 1 was about.
Yeah.
But episode 2.
So, yeah, we talked about how episode 1, this is June 2006. The Wii was not out yet. The PlayStation 3 was not out yet.
Yeah, and they still weren't out, so same topics.
Yep. So we were probably just talking about the same stuff.
But maybe the summer of arcade was that summer. No, okay.
I still remember people lining up for the Wii. Like,
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
days in advance?
It took me 2
Really?
12
weeks
hours.
Wow.
Couldn't
of
get it.
calling every morning to finally get one.
So you did
And
it
when
the
I-
smart way.
Well, yeah. But then when I finally got one, I realized I would rather have a 360 instead, so I changed it pretty quickly.
Really?
Yeah,
Right away?
I don't know. I thought it would be cooler than what it was.
What about that Twilight Princess?
Wii Sports was really fun.
It was really fun.
that's
It
just
brought
where it was
families
at.
together.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yes, it did. I think we had a great time with Wii Sports.
Yeah,
But I guess you
Good
just
fun.
had to play Perfect Dark Zero.
whatever.
Sam, did you say you waited in line for 12 hours?
12 hours or more.
Jeez.
I went at 10. No. 10 yeah, so it was 10 a.m. and I got in line. I was like 19 and 18 with my friend's brother, and I was waiting there, and I waited in line all day until midnight when the games were coming in, when the systems came in, and throughout the day they kept on saying we're only getting 20.
Oh wow.
I was, 18, 19. I was confident, but a little bit worried about that. And as I waited, the line backed up to 120 or something. Just got longer and longer and longer. And at that point, Walmart stopped telling people that.
Wow.
And they so what they did was they had us walk through, and we all bought a Wii. It was so awesome. And then at midnight.
So you were one of like the first 20 people on the
Yeah,
line.
yeah. I was 18 and 19 with my friend, and then we were waiting in line and got the Wii. And then the people behind us, they still walked them through. They're like, "Well, we're out of the consoles, but you can buy nunchucks," and they did.
And they
Anything to
still
be
did.
close to the Wii.
They bought
Yeah.
copies of Zelda. They bought nunchucks, which it became short supply.
Right.
And then they didn't have a Wii console, so it's like,
Well, they came out on
Walmart's
top
trick
later.
Totally worked.
They traded nunchucks for Wiis later. That's how
Maybe
they came
they're
out
able
on
to
top.
trade up.
What month was this that it came out in again?
November.
November. Yeah, that's right. I
remember
got it
some
as a
places it was
birthday
really
gift.
cold.
November baby.
Yeah,
My brothers
there you
called
go.
like 5 different stores. They didn't wait on any lines, but
Yeah.
it was a lot of fun.
I've only waited for 2 console launches: PS4 and Switch.
Well,
and
the
the Switch
PS3
one.
happened before that, before Wii. Remember, that was even worse.
See, I didn't. I was
PlayStation
like,
3 was?
Yeah, the short supply was so.
'cause when,
It's the
when,
same
when
month,
did
though.
PS3
For the
come
Switch?
out?
Yeah, it was right before the.
It was the same month.
So in
November
2006, though.
yeah.
See, I was in high school. Like, I did not have money for a PS3.
Well,
Those
they're-
are-
$600?
those are
it's like a fine steak, all right. Maybe you get a burger console.
But you went out and got a second job for it, right?
I didn't even have one job. I was in high school.
These were all things that Sony told people to do. When
Yeah.
their system
Go
was
out and get a
$800.
second job.
And believe me, the one that was $800 was in greater supply than the one that wasn't.
Oh, I don't think it was $800. $600.
Was it 600?
But still, that's crazy.
Oh, I'm thinking of 80 gigabytes.
Anyway,
knew
that's
there
a
was
look
an
back at
Who would have
2006.
thought this episode would have been about PS3?
That's all you have for GameScoop episode 2.
Yeah. Moving on to 2018 games, one of this fall's biggest releases has been delayed. Battlefield 5 pushed back a month, pushed
Probably smart.
entirely out of October into November.
Yep.
Were you surprised?
Why smart?
Because it's out of the way of Red Dead and also Call of Duty, but I mean Red Dead mostly.
So yeah,
You don't want to be going.
They want to be
up
in the
against-
way of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But now you can potentially buy one, save your money, buy the other one.
Yeah.
If you were inclined to. That audience is, I don't think it's as split as people think it is.
You think it's the same audience?
Yeah.
Yeah, so previously it was coming out in October alongside Black Ops 4, Red Dead Redemption 2. Now it's coming out November 20th, and there is no direct competition for the entire month of November or December, I don't think.
Yeah, it's nice. It's smooth sailing through November.
What if
Well, so-
Rockstar decided to move Red Dead to November?
Oh my god.
I would have so much fun with that, just chasing each other across the year.
But they were just going to take out Battlefield. That's the goal.
One goal in life.
Yeah. But Pokemon's out at the end of that month.
Yeah, so
What else is out going up?
Fallout.
So this
76
is what
Yeah.
hold on. This is what November looks like right now. November 13th is Hitman 2 and the SNK 40th anniversary collection. Which I'm really excited about. And then November 14th is Fallout 76.
Yeah.
The 16th is Pokemon Let's Goes. Both of those Let's Goes. The 20th is Battlefield 5 and the 27th is Darksiders 3. Remember that one? It's coming out
Yep.
1 week after Battlefield 5.
Yeah.
And like 1 week before Smash and
Just Cause 4.
Just Cause 4, yeah.
Those are the December games.
Those are the bigger December games, yeah.
Huh. Yeah. And then was there a little bit of detail to why they delayed it that they gave?
It's apparently because of feedback they've gotten from the playable demos at E3 and Gamescom.
Okay.
They need a little bit more time. To come
And we have a beta next week.
the beta is still happening, yeah.
They're still
A
testing.
month
the
is
game.
not that long
No.
to make any sort of massive changes.
Yeah, you'd think
Sounds
they'd
like
be
just
going
tweaking,
gold.
polishing. Yeah.
Which is an industry term I should stop using on shows like this. That just means
people
like
know.
the discs are ready to be printed.
Yes.
Which is antiquated now that there's digital versions anyway.
Because with day one patches.
But the concept
Yeah.
is still the same.
Yeah,
It's
same
like
day
it's shippable.
It's kind of like that
ship-ready.
idea that this is now done.
Yeah.
We've printed the disc. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you think
It's
6
laminated.
weeks out from its original date, that's yeah. I mean, I would think they would be done by now.
Yeah.
It's just the game
That's-
should be done.
That's polish, if anything.
know?
Yeah.
yeah.
It's crazy.
But, EA cannot afford another fiasco like Battlefront 2.
Like Battlefront.
So they've-
there's some burn from last year.
They
lingering.
can't. This Battlefield 5 has to be good to go right out the gate. So, yeah, if they need another month, I guess it's a little understandable.
Sure.
Now, a lot of our staff is playing Battlefield in beta, and I haven't heard tremendous criticism of how it plays.
No, Duggan and Destin have been playing it a lot, and they seem to like it a lot.
So it's in closed beta right now? Is that what it is?
Well, it starts. So it's in no beta right now, but next Tuesday is when it goes into like an open.
Okay.
This was their last final push. And
Yeah,
then,
they did 2 weekends of a more closed one.
Yeah. Okay, so maybe it is, but yeah, next weekend is like the big one where like basically everybody can play the game, like one of the maps. So
Wow.
Yeah.
yeah,
It does free up October a little bit.
yeah, I'm actually
I'm
kind
happy
of
about
glad
it.
for it.
Yeah.
Because it's like there's just so much coming out in October that anything that leaves October and enters November, I'm a little grateful for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, from a personal perspective, because we have to play pretty much all of these games. So
I am surprised that they're separating a month from Call of Duty. Like that's
Surprise?
Yeah, just because it's like, not last year, but maybe 2 years ago, they kind of sandwiched in Battlefield 1 and Titanfall. So it was like Titanfall, Call of Duty, Battlefield 1. So it's like obvious that they're trying to directly compete with Call of Duty.
Yeah.
So then to then give it a month of just like, I don't know, I feel like it's a little weird, but
well, maybe it
Maybe
gives it
they're-
the space to breathe, so you don't
Yeah.
do the direct comparisons. Well,
exactly.
Call of Duty did this.
Right.
Of course, it's going to happen anyway. But
What do you think it's like to be on a team that's suddenly like, you guys have another month to work on this?
And they thought they were going to get to go on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you? Well,
Maybe-
I don't know.
maybe
Maybe
they're
it's
grateful,
more like
though.
you
Yeah.
have to work on this. And
right,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe
they're
they're
like,
grateful. Like there was that
well,
one
I
thing
think
they
so.
really wanted to do, and they decided
That's
to
true.
cut it. But
That's true.
now that they have another month,
I would hope that creatively they could get more stuff in their game that they want to get in, and then now maybe they can actually enjoy Halloween. like us on GameScoop.
Yeah, they won't
on
be
October
reading,
5th.
Reviews and whatever else.
We will be in full costumes for the taping of
On August 5th.
yeah,
On October 5th,
October
rather.
5th.
Really?
No.
Oh, come
Well,
on.
maybe we will. I don't know. You got to come and find out.
You can't promise that and then not deliver.
Oh yeah, it's also a
Yeah.
costume party.
I'm gonna,
It's
I'm gonna
easier.
add that to the Eventbrite. Maybe they'll be in costume.
Maybe, maybe not.
No promises.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to promise candy.
Just always thinking practically, Sam.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Do you think EA moved Battlefield 5 because it was really worried about Mega Man 11 coming out in October?
It's
They-
direct.
they
it's
read
direct,
some,
It's actual
yeah.
direct competitors.
They read some
Shooters.
tweets
Mega Man-
from
yes, they
Damon
both
and
do
yeah.
shooters.
They were like, "Oh crap,
There's a lot of shooting in both those games.
Yeah.
there is
Mm-hmm.
different perspective though."
Not so many robot monsters in Battlefield
And it's not a
that
first,
we know of.
We don't know.
first-person shooter because Mega Man's a robot.
He is a robot.
It's a first. It could be a first robot shooter.
But
Guys
it's not.
invented a new
There have
program.
been third robot shooter versions of Mega Man.
He was
Yeah.
Dr. Wily's first robot. Nope, Proto
That's
Man.
not true.
Proto Man.
Proto Man was the first robot shooter of Mega Man.
Hey, we didn't plan a lot of topics for this game.
Oh, man, this game scoop's coming in hot. Plus, we're shooting this first thing in the morning.
Yes.
The coffee hasn't kicked
We're
in.
basically
I have not even had
suggesting that Mega
breakfast
Man
yet.
11 is a direct copy of Battlefield 5 or 6 or whatever the new one's called. 5.
It's 5.
It's 5.
Yeah.
I care so much about shooters.
The reason why I bring up Mega Man 11, besides the fact that I'm super stoked for it and we're
Mm-hmm.
just about a month away from it now, is that a new Robot Master was just announced. Sam, did you hear about this new Robot
Is
Master?
it a lady?
It's not. Nope. It's another man.
Couldn't go with their second robot master lady.
Nope.
Okay.
So there. No. It's another man. It's another
Okay.
blank man.
All
Do you
right.
know which one this is? How many like nouns
Balloon
have not
Man.
been used?
I like Balloon Man.
He floats on balloons.
How about
a very catchy song called "Balloon Man" by Robin Hitchcock.
How
I
about
love that song. I'm never.
It's not Splosion Man because somebody already used that.
Can't use Explosion Man.
Can't be Pac-Man.
Nope, not Pac-Man.
I'm all out.
It's Impact Man.
Whoa,
Impact- that was so close.
Yeah, that was pretty
That
close.
was surprisingly close.
Phonetically,
Wow.
anyway.
So what does Impact Man do?
Here's the
anti-Pac-Man.
description. Here's the description from Capcom. It's time for
That's
some
terrible.
heavy metal. Joining the 4 previously revealed robot masters for Mega Man 11, the large and in charge Impact Man has assembled an army of building bots at an old construction site, and it's up to Mega Man to tear down his ambitions. A dedicated robot who likes to see a job through to the end, Impact Man is focused solely on spiking Mega Man into the ground permanently.
So he's based on large construction equipment.
Yeah, it appears to be that way.
And he sounds no nonsense.
Yeah.
So he's a Cat 5. That's what they call.
Oh, the
What-
big,
yeah,
the big
yeah.
loaders.
Big yellow, yeah.
Yeah, the caterpillar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the little
Cat
Mega
5
Man
is a different
enemies
thing. It's
that
Cat
have the little helmets that are in every game?
I should know the name of
They
them.
have a name. I know.
But
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
I think Cat 5 is an internet cable.
Yeah, and it's just cat. I like that came to me, and I was like,
Well, there is caterpillar construction.
Yeah.
They're called cats, yeah, not Cat 5. I went internet.
I think those little construction workers are going to be really cute to see.
Oh yeah, they're gonna be animated.
There's
really
like a little. You guys know the little hard helmet characters
Yeah.
in Mega Man?
Yeah, I love those.
Like they have those
Those little
helmets for a
guys.
reason. It's because Impact Man.
Now I'm sure
Setting up the lore.
Be some back. Yes.
Well, and safety unions.
I look forward to reading
So,
the name of those characters in the comments.
so is this special movie just like creates impact on you?
Yeah. Seriously, is it emotional impact?
He's like, Mega Man,
Well-
you're garbage. You're like, oh.
the weapon. The weapon you get from him is called the pile driver.
Okay.
Sounds like a
An
wrestler.
emotional pile driver.
Yeah.
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 This all works. It checks out.
There's also in other Mega Man news this week.
More Mega Man
Yeah.
news.
To celebrate the 30th anniversary of Mega Man, which was last year, Capcom is releasing. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? A gold figure, a solid gold Mega Man
Saw
figure.
it.
Isn't it like $25,000?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Solid
ridiculous.
gold.
No, it's $22,000.
Oh,
Tina.
that's so much
Jeez.
better. That's a
That would have been
bargain.
ridiculous.
But it means it is solid gold.
It is solid gold. It's literally. I'm not making this up. You can pre-order this right now.
you shouldn't.
Well, no, actually,
$22,000.
You should, because
Well,
gold is one of the best investments that
that's
you
true.
can make.
That's
we
in
don't
terms of
we
value.
don't offer investment advice on this show. Just our
As a
personal,
disclaimer,
Unofficially.
Can I
our
drive
personal
the figure?
opinions.
as a disclaimer.
Thank you.
But if you were to buy gold, why go with ingots? Get Mega Man.
That's true.
Yeah,
Just-
why go
just
with
stack
gold?
them in your closet.
Ugly
Look at
hunks
gold
of gold.
bars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bars. Come on.
The ironic
Man.
the ironic thing is I don't think there's even been a gold man. But now they turned Mega Man into Gold Man.
It's true. Yeah.
They were waiting for this moment for the 31st anniversary.
31st to celebrate the 31st anniversary.
Has there been a money-themed robot boss?
I don't think so.
Goldman would be really cool.
Yeah.
That's like the
well,
level.
I think that's
the level
trademarked
designs
for
itself.
Austin Powers,
Yeah.
so you can't really.
Yeah, that's true too.
I thought that was Gold Member.
It is.
Oh, that is gold.
Yeah.
But like a
he's
Fort Knox
disgusting.
boss.
Which one?
Yeah.
Like a Fort
Fort
Knox
Knox
boss.
boss.
Have you guys ever seen Goldfinger, the James Bond movie?
Yeah.
I really like how the plot in that is like to irradiate all the gold in Fort Knox. That's like a really clever idea. And then the rest of the movie is just crazy.
We do not condone crime either.
I like those old James Bond movies. Yep, $22,000. The gold Mega Man figure. You can pre-order it right now. There's a cheaper version that's only about $7,000 though.
What is it made out of? Silver?
I think it's just a smaller solid gold.
It's just
Oh, I see. They could have done gold plating. Like, why does it need to be solid gold?
you need one of those on the full chain,
I was gonna say the smaller one
Yeah.
could be a necklace.
that would be
though.
heavy. Yeah.
the big chain.
So,
I don't know how.
7,000? No way. That's got to be more than.
now my wife knows what she's getting for her anniversary.
It's like a ring with Mega Man
It's just a giant Mega Man.
In more affordable Mega Man news, both Legacy collections are on sale for the Switch. The Switch versions are on sale until September 5th, and I heartily recommend those.
I love this idea
Third
that
Mega Man news story.
Yeah.
I love this idea
This is
that
just Mega
David
Man
needed a
Game
quick
Scoop.
game scoop, went to Capcom.com. It was like, there
What's
it
going on with
Capcom
Mega Man?
blog.
is. There it is.
That's actually probably pretty accurate. Damon, what's your process?
I sit right next to Mark. He looks at my screen.
Is this
You
episode
cheated, Mark.
497?
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
You can't count backwards from the.
I think it's
show?
maybe 496. I think this is 6,
All right.
maybe.
All right,
I
we're
don't
building. We're building to a big 500.
We're building to a big Halloween costume party.
Mega
If
Man
there's
costumes
Mega Man
only.
news at October 5th, it's
dressing
going to be
up as
so
Mega Man?
good.
I mean, Mega Man 11 is going to be out then. So it's basically just going to be a big Let's Play.
Let's
of
just, we're
Mega
just,
Man.
all, it's just going to play
a live
Mega
Let's
Man
Play of Mega Man 11.
We could all pick a Mega Man costume to wear.
Yep.
Cool.
Or we could just do the Blue Man group. It's kind of the same thing.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the Blue
Aesthetically
Bomber
speaking.
Man
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
Mark, do you think we could get the Blue Man group to come to GameScoop 500?
I'll tweet at them.
Okay.
But
Because that would be a steal. I guarantee you.
Why not? They only
tickets
do
to the
Vegas
Blue Man
anymore.
group cost more than $15.
I think it would mean more for them if you showed up at their house.
yeah. Well, we just
In
bring the whole
full
audience
costume.
to their house.
Yeah.
All right.
In other
Sorry, guys. It's coming.
in other news about old games that really only I care about, Streets of Rage 4 was announced recently, and I was very surprised to hear this news. Streets of Rage, those first 3 games, they're really, really good. These are brawlers on the Sega Genesis, and I actually only played them recently when I was reviewing the new Sega Genesis collection,
Oh, I didn't realize.
and I
you
was
played
like
back in the day.
stunned by how good these brawlers are.
Where do you put them in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Simpsons, Final Fight pantheon?
Super
Well, I
Batman
don't know about
baseball.
Final Fight. Final Fight is also very good from Capcom, but I think better than the Simpsons arcade game, just because they're designed for consoles and they're like they're not just like quarter munchers. you
We
know?
all know
There's a little bit
they're better than Double
Yeah,
Dragon.
they're fully
a little
fledged
bit
now.
more to them. Yeah, when you revisit Double Dragon, it's not as fun as it used to be. These games hold up better, I think.
So there's a little clip of the game we
There's
just
a, little,
watched,
there's a
Like
teaser
a
trailer, announcement
20
trailer.
second, not even like a 10-second.
and it was cell
gameplay.
shaded or like animated.
Yeah, it's like hand drawn animation.
Yeah,
It looks
yeah.
really nice. But I just wonder, there's a lot of retro genres that have been revived, like Metroidvanias. But brawlers aren't really like
There was a really bad Final Fight and a really bad Double Dragon.
So Double Dragon 4 came out a year ago or something, maybe more. Yeah, and it sucked.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know. I don't know what it takes for a brawler to be like fun and engaging today and
Castle
last more
Crashers
than
is what it takes.
Castle
Did you guys play
Crashers.
Castle Crashers?
the Castle Crashers
really good.
itself is 10 years old now.
Yeah, that's true.
Like the 2 big modern examples is Castle Crashers and Scott Pilgrim. And those are both like
Scott
super
Pilgrim is good.
old.
Good example.
Scott Pilgrim is good. That's unfortunately a game that's lost now, I think, because it was Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, and I think for licensing issues, it was like pulled, and like you can't even get that game now. I don't think.
A good 3D brawler from the past century was the Warriors.
People really like the Warriors. That was a Rockstar game.
Yeah.
I never played that one, but people do speak highly of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The main thing I can add to this conversation is that we watched the trailer on her phone, and she has the loudest phone speaker.
It was
I've ever
very
heard in my
loud.
Is
life.
it really loud?
It was very.
It was
loud.
It was
so
actually kind
loud.
of piercing, yeah.
Yeah.
But
What?
not in like a good exactly. Not in like a good audio quality way. I should have cupped the speaker.
That would have been worse.
But there's some pretty good like cheesy 80s like butt metal.
Yeah.
music going on in that trailer.
Yep.
Loudest phone ever.
I do think it takes a little bit of RPG elements and building up your characters and kind of expanding them, and then some way to kind of cycle through the game again. Otherwise, it's you're putting in your quarters just like you did back in the day. And
Didn't you hear replayability is a dirty word?
Who said that?
Behind.
I did hear that.
Yeah.
I saw that headline. I saw that headline, but I don't know in what context.
Well, because it's described as like a feature, and he was just going against the idea that a game needs to be replayable to be valuable, which I agree with.
Yeah.
Well, but because he makes giant games that you can play for so long.
Right.
It's like the idea of replayability for a game like Spelunky is really important.
He also said, technically speaking, any game is replayable, which, like, you can start from the beginning and play.
I think the idea that like
The ability,
it's like rewatching a movie.
Is it fun?
Yeah.
People say stuff like Heavy Rain and stuff like that is not replayable, and it's like that doesn't make it not good.
Right.
I think that
And you've played it like what, 60, 70 times?
Have you? I was like, why?
that goes.
I'm a Beyond Two Souls boy.
Just want to go through all the dialogue options.
I think that term goes way back to like video game magazines.
It totally is from Super Nintendo and stuff.
And it was like the idea that like kids didn't have infinite money to spend on games, so it's like how much value are you getting out of this one game?
Which now I think the importance is placed on, like, is it a 100-hour game, not necessarily like what's the new game plus about, because that we don't really see that anymore.
When I think back then, it was like about scores, like games that didn't even have scores, that shouldn't have had scores, had scores.
Yeah, like Super
Because then
Mario
it was
Brothers.
like, I'm gonna replay. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna replay Mario because I'm gonna try to get a better score.
Or I guess it's about multiplayer, like how much fun can you get out of it with your friends who also have the game.
Yeah.
I have a somewhat related topic that I gotta share that just occurred to me. But if we're gonna talk about what we've been playing, I'm gonna get to it then.
I didn't have that planned into.
All right, let me just tell the story real
so.
quick. I've been working on this Play Choice 10 machine. I got a second one, and I have it on location. You can play it in San Francisco at Free Gold Watch if you want to play it.
Amazing.
But I put a bunch of games in it last night, and I've never run these for quarters before. This was a game that they put Nintendo games in before they came out, so it's a preview machine that you'd put in arcade.
And they were they actual cartridges?
No,
put
they're
in there?
special versions of games. They come on these little things, these little boards, and they have differences. Like Mike Tyson's Punch-Out has battery save. You can put your name in and stuff. Like, it's different, and then some of them have just changes. But the funniest thing is that Nintendo, what you do, you could set like how many minutes you get per quarter, right? And then you can play Nintendo for 10 minutes for like a quarter, And so kids would do that in the arcade. But Nintendo didn't put a counter up that says how much time you have left. No, they just put a counter. So for a quarter, it just says 300, and then it goes 300, 200, 900. It goes like really, really fast. It's like 299, 298, 297, 296.
Pressure.
It's not seconds. it's Nintendo time. They made up a unit of time.
Wow.
Yeah.
For
Only
no
Nintendo.
reason. They just
I feel like
Because
that
they
would
can.
panic me.
Is that-
Even
Yeah.
if it was like 10,000,
Any
it's going down
countdown,
so
yeah.
fast. and you're just
faster
like,
than seconds. And like I was playing Dr. Mario with one of the other arcade operators, and it freaked me out.
Yeah.
Well, so as the operator, that's not a feature you can turn off?
No, that's the only way to pay for the.
But isn't that the
game.
same in Mario? Like it wasn't like minutes or whatever. Like
Yeah,
like
that's
the
right.
levels.
what
that,
they
That's a
like,
very
think of it.
slow
it would,
timer.
it would just say like 180 or whatever.
That's a very
and then
slow timer.
Yeah, it's Nintendo time.
It's
What is this? It's so funny.
Free Gold Watch is the coolest arcade in San Francisco, and if you're planning on making a trip here for GameScoop 500, you could stop by and play some of Sam's machines. Sam operates machines in that arcade.
Yeah, and to not make it conflict of interest, also Emporium is a really good arcade bar in town.
Well, it's big.
Yeah, it's big. I like their pinball selection.
They actually have a great beer selection.
Yeah, and then Brewcade is the other like arcade with machines.
Yeah.
GameScoop500 live.eventbrite.com.
There you go.
I'm just here to deliver the sponsored message.
And then real quick before we move on, we were talking about replayability, and that's a word that's used a lot in our circles. But do you know that I'm not even sure replayability is a real word? Because
Like, if you type it out, does it come out as an error?
it's like I've searched it in a few online dictionaries, and it shows up in some of them, but not others. So I don't know if it's actually like recognized.
Well, I mean, think about it. Is the word playability? Oh, that's not a word.
I don't know.
So replayability.
It might just be a word
like,
that
that's-
that we made up in our.
Yeah,
in our
We've made up
multiplayer is
lots
not a
of
word
words.
either.
Yeah.
That's
Single
true.
player.
Yeah.
I think the idea
don't
is like
track
replay dash
Ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Ray tracing. Someone just made that up.
Yeah, they did.
Technically, all words were made up.
Yeah. Who is
That's
ray
true.
tracing?
that's absolutely true.
the
That's
brain
absolutely true.
the brain
Named itself.
And
Where were
Damon's
you
brain
guys
just
getting
went,
this?
oh,
Why do you guys both know that quip?
because it's so
What's
cool.
that from? What is that from?
I don't know.
just
I
saw
read it
that
somewhere.
technically, the
the
brain,
brain
did name itself.
named itself.
Well, if you
Cool,
think
right?
about it.
Yeah, that's amazing. I've just never heard that.
Yeah.
It's really,
I thought that must
and
be
like
from
it like gives
Scoop.
you, it's like what is it? And then it totally makes sense.
It does.
It totally did make
Like it makes you
named
laugh,
itself.
and then you're like, wait,
It did.
the brain named itself.
yeah. Let
Remember-
it sink in for a second.
Did Pokemon name
That is the
themselves?
name of this episode.
Yeah, how did Pokemon get their names? Ash
I
just
mean,
named
they
all.
only say their names except for Meowth. So,
Right.
Yeah.
well, and Mew, right? Mewtwo.
Do you remember the brain boss in Life Force?
Oh
It has
yeah.
little arms and they can go like, like around itself, and it has a big eye.
Single eye.
Anyway,
Yeah.
let's check in with the listeners.
Hey,
listeners.
Listeners, remember you can always reach us at the email address gamescoop@ign.com, just like Julian did. Julian says, first, I want to thank you for an awesome show. Each week I look forward to the great discussion and genuine fun you guys exude on the podcast. Keep up the great work.
We haven't had any fun today.
No. As a kid, when I had more time and fewer games to play, it's fewer, right?
Yeah.
I tend
Nailed it.
Para would be very proud of you. I tended to 100% games and really get everything out of them that I could. But now that I'm in my mid-30s with little time to spare, but enough resources to buy whatever game interests me, look at Mr. Moneybags over here, I struggle with not being able to finish a game. Recently, I played God of War for the PlayStation and really forced myself to just stay focused on the core story, not do any side quests or collectible hunts. I was able to finish an amazing and very satisfying game, but I feel guilty that I didn't see it all, but at least I finished it. In your opinions, what is worse? Not finishing a game because you were trying to see and do it all, or pushing through an amazing game, never to appreciate all the finer details? Have you guys struggled with the guilt of not finishing what you started in a game?
So this is so totally relatable to me because I was pushing through God of War, and there were moments where I, stumbled upon like a dragon or some kind of boss, and it was incredibly difficult, and I felt like maybe I'm meant to go do other things and come back, but I got sidetracked from coming back because I wanted to finish the story. And honestly, towards the end, as much as I was enjoying it, I also felt the pressure of like, yet another night I have to sink in to playing this thing, and it's detracting from whatever social or work life that I have to also balance alongside of it. So it's very relatable. But to actually answer the question, I feel like it's to each their own, and also to the game specifically too. I felt that for God of War, there was more value in finishing the main story than there was exploring the side stuff. In Skyrim, maybe, or like The Witcher 3, maybe some of the side stuff is more interesting to explore and be a part of that conversation instead of the overall storyline. But with God of War, all the conversations were about the main story. So yeah.
I feel like there's a money aspect that you have to look at.
Yeah.
Like, I spent money on this. I should get as much as I can. I'm going to ignore all of that and just say the last game I 100%ed was Assassin's Creed Origins. And one of the trophies...
That's impressive.
Yeah,
I got the
seriously.
platinum trophy.
Huge.
And one of the trophies is called... I forget. Anyways, that trophy alone it's called Old Habits, and that trophy alone is like a 30-hour trophy. It's
crazy,
every
dude.
marker on the map. So every little thing that Biok has to do, they all have to go away. And that trophy took like 30 hours. And I did it, and I thought to myself, I should have stopped when I was still having fun.
You regretted it.
Because
That's funny.
I was like, I did not have fun these past like 20 hours. And so that was kind of my thing, is like, why force yourself to do something if games are meant to be enjoyed, and if you're not enjoying it
absolutely.
anymore?
This is something we come back to frequently on GameScoop. But like, you don't owe the game anything. You don't owe the game your time. So
Well, it's like if you buy a meal and you enjoy it and you're full, do you have to finish it to
Yeah.
really
Right.
get your money
Right.
value
Sometimes,
out of
yeah.
it? You know, I mean, you're being served what someone else is deciding might be like the range of what you want to eat, but you can decide for yourself when
But it's
you
like,
feel
this
satisfied.
steak was $30. I'm not
Yeah.
wasting a morsel of it.
That's why you just get a dog and take leftovers home for it.
I stuff my cheeks and then save for winter. I sometimes I feel the obligation to the game.
You
in
do?
some
Why?
situations, and it's only when I truly love a game so much that I want to see every aspect of
that
it.
sounds different. Like, you're just enjoying it, then, right?
is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it is. It's more like it's enjoying it not for playing it, but for the research and experience and like kind of just like absorbing of it.
Well,
Like,
obviously,
same
you're
reason
the
I wanna read
wikis
a book
guy.
about it. That turned me off to like collecting things while I was working on games so much. Like that really broke me. But for a game like say Ocarina of Time, like if there's like a seam break or something you can do, see something weird in the game, that was more in Majora's Mask. I'm in. Like I totally want to like just get every corner of that game exposed. I love that.
I guess
for
it
a game I
depends on the
truly
side
love.
quests. Yeah, like I did that for Final Fantasy X. I couldn't get enough of that game. I wanted to explore every single inch of that game, and so I wanted everyone's special weapons, and it didn't feel complete unless I got them.
Did you get Waka's special weapon?
I got everyone's special weapon, every single one. It was the only game I actually used a strategy guide for.
This is 10.
So
I
that's what I was
love
gonna
Final
add to
Fantasy
this.
X, but Waka's special weapon is one that I've never gotten it and I never will.
It's
I love that
ridiculous. It takes a long
not
time.
doing it.
All of
There's-
them do.
That feeling of getting everything is also the same feeling that people have when they write facts or strategy guides or wikis. That culture's been around for 25 years now. Like Game Facts was as early as IGN was, and the people that were doing these early text guides and sending them to IGN and Game Facts were like just doing this for fun because they wanted to like seriously like blow up a game and break it down. And that's part of like my brain for sure. Like if I really love something, I want to like just make something of it, and kind of explode it and see all of its parts.
I kind of approach movies I like in the same way, because if I like a movie, I buy the Blu-ray and I watch the director's commentary and I watch all the special features, and I just want to figure out how this movie
just
works.
about to say the same thing. Is like I love Titanic so much that I got the 4-disc
not
version.
expect that.
So I can watch all the
Titanic.
behind the scenes and the director's commentary, and it's just more reason to live in this world that somebody else has created.
I've never seen the Titanic, so
Wow.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All
We have
right.
to have a
will you
movie
just
night.
tell me what
It
happens?
opens with a shot. One of the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 Zombies maps takes place on the Titanic.
That's a boat, right?
It is.
Yes.
That's just a joke.
A big boat.
What were you gonna say?
It's the same with Game of Thrones. I feel like I don't really care about the what do they call them, like the aftercuts or whatever, where they discuss.
Yeah,
some of
The talking
Inside
game
the
Yeah,
episode or whatever.
exactly. Yeah, talking Game of Thrones. That's what they call theirs. So I never really care about those, but for Game of Thrones, I always did, because after each episode, I'd sit and kind of internalize and think about what the characters just did, what their motivations must have been.
Yeah.
And so I want more information. So for Game of Thrones, when I watch Talking Thrones and they're talking about like how they directed that actor for that one particular scene, what they were going for, how it compares to the book, like it's all extra information that I feel brings a greater amount of depth to something that I love. But in some cases with some side quests in some games, I don't know, a lot of them are fodder. Like it's not really, they're not really interesting to go on.
Yeah.
But then you have something like any GTA, or you want to explore more of the world to get a feel for it, because that's part of the experience. Whereas a God of War feels like it's just the core storyline to me,
Right.
and to most of the chatter that I've seen online.
Yeah, I think that's right. I like checking out side quests, but if I ever start to feel like I'm just spinning my wheels, then it's like, all right, let's get back on track. Like that's what happened with Fallout 4. I feel like a lot of the side stuff is just like, wait a minute, this side quest is never going to end. You're going to keep spitting up new objectives for me.
is
The railroad wants so much from me.
All right, this is Justin in Imperial, Missouri. Says, I've been gaming as long as I can remember, and never in all my years have I amassed a backlog like I have now. I really don't know where to begin with it. Every time a game I've been looking at is on sale on the Switch eShop, I grab it. I have a Gamers Club unlocked membership with Best Buy. That's good until next March, and every time I see a game on sale with Best Buy, I grab it and then extra 20% off while I can. I don't know if it's just my age, 33, and lack of free time that's making me purchase all these games with the hopes that I'll have some free time and dive into them. I don't know, I'm getting married in October. My lady thought Damon looks like a sports announcer when she saw me watching the show the other day. Everyone else, she said, looked like they belonged on a video game podcast. Her words, not mine. Sports announcer is not something.
I'll take it.
Sports announcer is not something I've gotten before. I could never. I'm not a sports guy. Anyway, I've been working on a ton of overtime this last year or so. I don't have time, but I do have the games. Have you all ever felt like you were just drowning in games? Yeah, that's, that's gaming today.
He's working overtime and he's planning a wedding.
Yeah.
There's no time for games.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, you can like play on the subway on your phone or something. Well, he's in Missouri. He's not playing on the subway.
I feel like I could go as a sports announcer too, just from a different era. All right,
Yeah. Maybe weather, though.
Yeah,
weather. Yeah.
You got.
it's Game Scoop today all day.
All right, we'll put that in post.
Somebody key that out.
It's so easy to fall back in your backlog, like because it's just
different.
it's constantly growing. You're always going to add to
It's
it.
different now because like so many games are released every week now.
Yeah.
Whereas, 10 even 10,
then
even
re-release.
10 years ago. Even 10 years ago it wasn't like this. It was much more manageable to keep up with all the big releases. But now it's like we've talked about this there's like 30 new games just on the Nintendo Switch every week that are coming out. It's insane.
If you look at the landscape from this very moment, October is nuts. November is getting more nuts. And then there's even December's kind of nuts if you really, really like Smash and Just Cause. And then February gets nuts again.
Yeah,
There's just no time
You
for
need like
anything.
a 1 to 10 nut scale to start.
Next time.
All right, 8 nuts out of 10.
Yep.
October's
That's how nuts.
October's 10 nuts out
That's-
of 10
that's-
nuts.
Yeah, and traditionally we had reprieve in like January, February, but that doesn't exist anymore. Every month is like a big
Oh,
release
it's so
month.
good. January and February look great this year. Backlog. Here's my suggestion.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
This is the collector mentality.
Oh.
Buy as many games as you can. Don't open them, ever. Don't ever open them. Never. Not a single game. Right. And really focus on Japanese imports. Focus on low run games that might be really terrible, that might go on sale for really cheap. Then you put them in your closet, or maybe a fire safe place. And then you wait 40 years. And then you're going to be rich.
Yeah.
I thought we don't give investment advice here.
These are just my opinions. I would never give investment advice. But if you have room in your Mega Man gold closet, you can pad it with some of these Japanese import games.
How often do you pick up new or Japanese import games that are sealed and that you aren't going to open?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Okay.
On a scale of how many nuts?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Alright.
But I collect old games now that have their boxes and stuff still, and so that's where it really adds up.
Yeah.
Okay, how about genuine advice
Yeah,
for backlog?
that was genuine advice.
Was it?
You could buy
But you're not
every
talking about
Wii U
playing a
game.
game.
You could get a full Wii U
You're saying
library.
don't open it.
Yeah, that's right.
So, okay.
Get married, you don't
the
get
advice
them.
I would give is don't buy everything the second it comes out. I was just looking at the PlayStation Plus deals right now. You can get like last year's Mass Effect and Horizon for like $7.
That's
Well,
a good
that's
point,
true.
but I personally, like from my personal perspective, I like to be a part of the conversation when it's
Yeah,
happening.
that's the tough
There is
thing.
that too.
Yeah. So I always pick the games that I know that I'm going to be interested in and that there's going to be a community for and that I can like have those conversations in and then is also useful to my job. So those are like my priorities in terms of what I play. But it doesn't, everyone's got different, like if you have a more of a financial priority, that makes total sense to me.
There's somebody that works in this office that he buys every single game full price. He pre-orders every game and then he just doesn't play them. His name is Brandon Hunt. He works on the social media team and he doesn't play the games.
Does he open them?
He buys them all digitally. He pre-orders them digitally. Every time you talk about a game, he's
That
like, "Oh,
is
I
a
have it
bad
on pre-order,"
idea.
and
There's
then
the
he
trouble.
never plays them. He
He opens them and
he
smells
opens
them.
the digital
and then- but doesn't play them.
dust.
The smell isn't even as pleasant anymore now. There's no like thick booklets in there.
yeah. It's not like
Yeah.
a new
It's
car
always just like a
smell.
little insert now.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the
Not
disc
even.
doesn't really smell like anything.
No,
No.
doesn't smell like anything to me.
Sometimes tastes like things.
The Switch cartridge
Doesn't
tastes
look like anything to
something.
me.
The Switch
It tastes like
Switch tastes
a
like
tub of electricity.
a tub of electricity.
Yeah,
Who told you that?
that's from The Office. When Kevin's deciding how to kill someone, he says something about dropping them in a tub of electricity. And that same reaction happens in the episode. They're like, but what exactly is a tub of electricity?
This is a
A
recurring.
death trap, apparently.
This is a
This is
recurring.
my last episode. This is my last time on GameScoop. I guarantee it.
This is a
you're
recurring
doing great.
theme we're going to keep hearing about on GameScoop this week. This is Riley, and Riley says, like everyone else who follows video games, I watched with eager delight the gameplay reveal for Cyberpunk 2077. The Witcher 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. I spent 3 months sucked into its world and characters, so I was excited to see what CD Projekt RED was up to next. But instead of feeling excited about the next game from one of my favorite developers, I was overwhelmed. I played The Witcher 3 the summer of 2015 when I was a junior in college. I had no job or long-term relationship to drain my time. I had the ability to sit down and immerse myself in that world, but now I work a full-time job, coming home late, exhausted with my weekends filled with friends and my significant other. I play games about 6 to 7 hours a week, maybe. So seeing the gameplay for this game I've been anticipating since its reveal trailer left me a bit disheartened, as I knew I will never have the time to immerse myself like I did in 2015. Have you guys had that aha moment where you realize that you're getting older and balancing time just isn't on your side anymore? Thanks, and keep being the best there is. This is a problem a lot of our listeners seem to be having these days.
And it does come with age.
They're
Because at
all
a point in
growing up.
time, at a point in time, you realize like you barely have time to fit in like cooking dinner and having a healthy lifestyle and doing basic
true.
things that are good for you. Let alone like dealing with entertainment too at the same time.
I think you told me that you set aside specific hours at night.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like after 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
For gaming,
Yeah. I just try to be like productive, either like creatively productive or spend time with my wife like up until then. And she goes to bed earlier than me. And then after 10 o'clock, then I can start playing games.
Yeah, that's tough though, because that pushes into your sleep schedule. And when I really am into a game, that's what I'm trading off at this point.
Trading
It's
off sleep.
I stay up too late, and I feel terrible for it.
Yeah, I'll inevitably do just 5 more minutes, just one more mission. Come
that
on.
turns into 45 minutes
Yeah.
so weird.
Oh, so quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it just evaporates. It's really funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I by the time I get home, because we commute here, there's only probably 3 or so hours. So like, yeah.
But you
there's
play a lot of
definitely-
games at work.
I was gonna
You're
say, out of
simply
all
true.
of
a little bit
That's
Mark
true.
plays games at work.
That's true.
That's how you
ones.
do it.
Yeah, some not great games, but some good ones too. Yeah,
So
I
you
don't
get a
know.
head start, I think, for that way.
I play a lot of games on the weekends.
So I guess for me, I don't mind playing like 10 hours of a game if it's like much longer than 10 hours, because then I get a feel for it. And if I'm not obsessed with it, I don't mind moving on. I quickly will draw my attention somewhere else. And I don't think that that's that bad in terms of like I get a piece of the tiny piece of many games that I'm able to kind of speak to and have experience with, as opposed to like fully playing through one. But that's still a time issue.
I think this game, Cyberpunk, could be seen as a relief because you don't need to keep up with all the other games that are out around it. Like, get it, play it for 2 or 3 months, like you catch up on a Netflix show.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to look at these now is that like you can watch all of Star Trek Next Generation, but you're not going to do it in the same time you would have, 20 years ago. You're going to do it like over a couple weeks.
Yeah.
It's fine.
This is just something I think every gamer experiences as they get older. You get a job, you maybe get married, you have a social life you want to keep up with. There's all these TV shows and Netflix shows you want to keep up with.
Summers aren't off anymore.
You don't have summers off. God forbid you have some sort of a hobby or creative outlet, like you're in a band or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
that also takes up your time. So yeah, it's just like there's no getting around it. Your time for gaming gets smaller, but it doesn't have to go away entirely. I don't know.
I think MMOs have kind of always had this problem. I've heard so many times people say I want to play WoW or Final Fantasy 14 and say like they look cool, but I know I won't have time for it, and like I know I'll just won't be able to make time for it.
Yeah.
I actually wrote an article about this back when I was at Kotaku about like how to balance your life with video games, and I just talked to a bunch of dads and it was inspired because my oldest brother is a hacker and he just works like day and night, like literally day and night. He's never not working unless he's eating or sleeping. It's terrifying, and it sucks because I always enjoyed that he really liked Red Dead Redemption was the last game that he played. So now that Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming out, I'm telling him like just set aside like 1 hour a week, even 1 hour a week, and in like however many months you'll finally be done with it. But it's about prioritizing in that way is essentially what I and a bunch of the dads that I talked to came up with, is that you pick the one game that you absolutely want to play, so you can still have your hobby. You won't be as in touch as everyone else is, but you still get that experience in some kind of a way.
That's good advice. And then one more email about Cyberpunk. This is from Adam C. He says, I've been thinking recently, if Cyberpunk 2077 is released and is a massive hit, do we start putting CD Projekt RED in the same quality category as Rockstar? Will they be able to take the time and spend what they want to make their next title without copying any flack for it, much in the same vein as Red Dead 2? And will other devs start swerving away from Projekt RED's release dates to avoid getting shoved out of the market? Keen to hear your thoughts. Love the show.
I would say Cyberpunk is as popular as what a Rockstar game is. Like it's kind of mythical. Like Cyberpunk, like it seems like a game that we're never going to get, and we know when we get it, it is going to kind of take over the world.
But remember, GTA 5 is what the most profitable entertainment thing
In the
ever
top 10
released
for 5 straight years.
But there's a difference between talking about popularity, money made, and then the quality of games. And I think we also
like
recognize
the pedigree of the development.
of Rockstar is very high. And I think there's very few developers that have that, and some are very different. Like Nintendo is that, but they also make a lot of other stuff, and so it's weird. Those companies are comparable because Rockstar stopped making Max Payne. They stopped making the Warriors. Like they're just doing our
Well, they got Red Dead.
Yeah, they're just doing these giant GTA and Red Dead games now, and CD Projekt seems to be working on just Witcher and the Cyberpunk games.
Yeah, Rockstar has way more like mainstream recognizability than CD Projekt Red could foreseeably have, at least like in the near future. And also it remains to be seen how extensive the world of Cyberpunk is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, when they show clips of the cityscape and, you know, there are a lot of like NPCs wandering around, like, but what is that engagement to us actually going to be? Like, we're
What are
told
they
there are
actually doing?
relationship building opportunities and, you know, you have some kind of reputation in the city, but what does that actually mean? And like, how does that compare to like what Rockstar is going to be doing with Red Dead 2 that we keep hearing about and seen and played ourselves?
When the demo came out, we noticed that at the end part where she's doing a bunch of combat, she's using the same gun, but she reloads it kind of differently every time. Like, and we thought about how like every game you reload your gun and it always looks the same.
Yeah.
Right. And the fact that she was doing it just a little differently, it wasn't faster or slower, it just looked differently. My desk mate who sits next to me said it's like such a Rockstar thing to have like a little detail like that. It doesn't have to be there, but it does. And that's like kind of like a GTA 5 thing where it's like that game does things that that it didn't have to do.
Sure.
But it did it, and it just makes it that much better. And so it's kind of funny that those comparisons are happening now.
CD Projekt Red has a weird name, and I think that's gonna not make them as popular as Rockstar in the end.
Rockstar.
I mean, Rockstar is Rockstar, so.
Yeah.
And
Well,
like,
been around
isn't
so
the CD
long.
Projekt logo a rooster?
It's some sort of bird, fowl.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's a
Yeah.
rooster, but
Going back to Game Scoop, huh?
it's some sort of a Polish bird.
Maybe it's a camp goose.
It's probably the camp goose.
Well, and it's tough because it's like,
Game Scoop. I forgot about Game Scoop.
did The
could you?
Witcher like change the world? Right?
Whoa,
Like,
whoa,
I
whoa. What do you mean?
because I would say that GTA 3 kind of changed the gaming world.
Oh, yeah, but you're right. But it was also just a high quality, giant open world game. I think is the comparison to Rockstar. Not that because CDPR, you know, The Witcher.
I'm just talking
1
about
or
like
2 didn't
brand
reach that.
recognizable, like the fact that they've been around so long. CD Projekt would have a lot of time to they would have a while to catch up to that. Where
I'm reading-
Rockstar's been famous since PS2.
I'm reading the Witcher novels right now, and I'll have a full book report.
Good.
Nice. To go back to your details thing, Mark, for an instant. So the cool thing that Rockstar does about details with Red Dead 2 that we saw recently in the last trailer, the gameplay trailer, was that if you shoot a horse, an enemy horse, he'll like
Oh, it's an
topple over.
enemy
Don't
horse,
do
that's
that.
okay,
But like,
guys.
yeah, exactly.
That horse is like,
I mean, he's not involved, you know. But so if you shoot the horse in the leg and it trips over, then the enemy will also trip over, and that's the kind of like detail that's also functional because like the animation details are cool, but Rockstar delves in details that actually have some kind of impact on how you're engaging with the world. So again, remains to be seen. But
Yeah. All right, so now this demo that everyone saw at E3 and Gamescom is out there. Everyone's seen it. When do you think this game is coming out?
I think it's like Death Stranding. I think it's a PS5 game.
No,
still
they're already saying it's not.
They
have
said
to talk people off that ledge all the
they said
time.
they are aiming to have it a current generation. Like I think it's at least like Metal Gear 5. I think it's prominently on PS4 and Xbox One, but there are versions
Like
of
right
that
on the
game on
precipice.
360 and PS3.
Oh, I guess I forgot that came out.
What's the
Yeah, it's weird
straddle
to think about
generation.
that.
what was
Yeah.
Witcher 3's release date?
It's
It is
2015.
2015, yeah.
Come on, guys, that's coming out.
so what? 2019?
Yeah, I think,
Next year?
End of?
You think next year?
You think next year? No way.
I think it's
don't
gonna
so.
it's gonna be announced for October, and then it's gonna hit the November.
It's gonna-
Of
They get their nice
2020.
Battlefield delay.
I think 2020.
Oh, good birthday gift for me.
I also think the new consoles are coming in 2020. And I think that's when Death Stranding and Cyberpunk are coming out. Is in 2020.
All right,
I mean, nuts.
you heard it here first.
When's it coming to Switch?
2021. Just like every Switch game comes out 6 months later.
Super Switch.
Yeah.
Switch 64.
Switch 64.
That's what they went with.
Yeah.
then the Switch Cube.
And GameScoop 1000.
Yeah, it'll be just in time for GameStop 1000.
Switch you.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Which you would be good.
Game Scoop Live 1000 on Eventbrite. No, don't go there.
That brings us to video game 20 questions.
We're doing one?
We're doing one.
Boy.
Oh my God.
Our suggestion this week comes from Matt Ford in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Let
we got
the
this.
questioning begin.
Is it in first person?
Is this game played in first person? No.
Did this come out before 1995?
No.
Oh, did it come out? I'm going to leave a 5-year gap here. Did it come out after 2000?
Yes.
Oh, thank God.
You ready to guess?
It can't be a Virtual Boy.
Is
game.
it?
Damn. I'm going to keep consistent with the theme of the questions and ask if it's on current gen consoles.
This one.
That means it was on Xbox 360 and PS3, and potentially also HD remake on Xbox One and PS4.
Wait, current gen.
Wait. You said current gen. Does that mean Xbox One, PS4?
Yeah, that's what I considered it. What's current gen?
You just said
You just said
360.
360 and PS3.
I know. I'm saying. Well, the fact that you hesitated means that it was on 360
I
PS3,
see. You're
and
okay.
it's HD. Yeah,
This
exactly.
game-
She's reading
I'm
between the
decoding
lines.
his face. Yeah.
This game came out during the current generation of consoles.
But the thing is,
Released.
there,
Okay.
what?
Just making sure.
That was
But
like
think
4
about what that
questions.
tells us too is that the Switch is hard to tell if it was this current generation because
Oh.
the Wii U launched with the current.
Also somewhat
Okay.
the current generation.
All right.
So.
So
I think
maybe.
that's a
So
hint.
you're saying it may also be on Switch.
Yeah,
Is the hint?
a
Okay.
PC or Switch game or something
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
be an
Yeah.
adequate way
Okay.
to
Yeah.
make
You
that.
see it
Yeah. I was trying to
every
read the
generation.
hesitation. Like, yeah.
Did this come out on Switch?
No.
Okay, well,
Damn it. What was hesitation?
Is this game first party?
Yes.
Ooh, I did it.
oh, okay.
It's last.
Since Justin isn't here, do you wear a hat in this game?
Yes.
You do.
Nice.
Is this made in Japan?
Yes.
So Nintendo
So
or
it's
Sony?
an RPG.
Yeah.
It's first parties, so it has to be
First
Nintendo
party.
or Sony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just gonna.
Well, just Microsoft.
But we know nothing else except that you can wear a hat, so maybe it's an RPG.
Sounds
Yeah.
like Captain Toad.
Do it.
Oh no, that's
he wears
on Switch.
He wears goggles.
Oh yeah, no Switch.
Yeah, but it came out on
Oh,
Wii U.
and it's unclear whether he's wearing a hat or not.
I think they said
Wait,
he
what do you
wasn't.
mean unclear?
They said it's not a hat.
His head is the mushroom.
His head is
Oh,
mush.
for for Toad. Okay. Yeah.
Have you ever seen
That's
Sonic
right.
without his shoes? Oh, that's so weird.
Whose turn is it to ask a
I think
question?
it's Sam's.
Is no, there's no turns.
Oh, there's
Isn't
not.
it?
No,
thought
you
that-
guys just go nuts.
Oh,
burn it down.
we're
Usually go.
we're so
Yeah, we
new.
usually go. In
I don't
order.
I don't pay attention.
You've never noticed that? They usually
Yeah,
go
it's
one
always
person
it's
at a
always
time.
All I
in order.
noticed is that Justin asked the hat question first. That's the only thing.
Everyone
That's the
just
only pattern. I
Yells
ever
out
noticed.
questions.
This has devolved really quickly.
Is this a Sony game?
Sony game? No.
Ooh, Nintendo.
Gotta be. So it's got to be a Wii U game.
Yeah. Did this come out for the Wii U?
No.
What?
That's 10.
Oh my gosh.
Is this a handheld game?
Wait, it's not on Switch and it's not.
It's not on
Wii U.
Switch. It's not on Wii
It
U, but
is,
it's a first-party Japanese game that's current
Oh,
generation. that's
is
not
it any of the
first-party.
mobile games?
That he's wearing.
Is it on mobile?
Yes.
Oh my God! Is it Super Mario
we got
Run?
this.
What was that? Was it what it was called?
It's
could
really
be.
good. I think
Are we
got
only
it.
allowed to make one guess? I forgot.
You-
Is this
yeah.
If you
game?
guess the game wrong,
Oh, we have
the
a lot
game
of
is-
questions
Okay,
to narrow
okay.
this
Is
down.
this game made by Nintendo? Wait, did we ask that?
You don't need to ask that. Is why David
Yeah.
is giving you
What
that
if it
bit.
stars Super Mario Run?
All right, you get this question. Go for it, buddy.
Is this game made by Nintendo?
Yes.
Yay.
I thought we already knew that, but
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
I didn't know.
Oh, he's twisting the knife.
Well, because ever since Sam decided that the
wait,
rules weren't switching, he just rapid fired
Go
like
again.
4 questions.
Go again.
Well, it's obviously Super Mario Run because he wears
Can
a
you
hat.
stop running
Maybe
in this
Fire
game?
Emblem.
Can you stop running
You
this
wear-
game? No.
Yes.
But maybe you can't start running. and
Okay.
it'd be
Well,
Fire
so how many
Emblem.
questions we have
Is
left?
Mario
We have-
in the
we
game?
have 8.
Mario's in the game.
Is
Yes.
Okay.
it Super Mario Run?
Yes.
Yay.
Super Mario Run.
We had a few more questions there.
We still have more questions.
You can ask them.
Do I tap to jump?
You
Did
already
I
know the game.
Only play this game for an hour.
So-
Did it come out on
This is a
Android?
new situation for us where Tina and I won, but Mark didn't.
That's true. Yeah.
Lost. I threw out the,
First ever on
the
GameScoop
super
history.
hot, is it made by Nintendo question.
Uh-huh.
2016.
Yeah, you really brought us home with that one though.
So when you tally this in the Game Scoop wiki, just remember.
Make sure. Yeah,
That one, unfortunately, it hasn't been updated in over a year, but
it's fine.
I think at
We're
that
bringing
point,
it back.
people were wondering if it was Blue Dragon or if it was Super Mario
Wait,
Run, and I
Blue
feel
Dragon.
like I brought it home.
Dan, did you have a guess?
Yeah.
still guessing.
Still asking
Still.
questions. Is it Sonic 06?
Super Mario Run was released in 2016, but Sam, how should I have answered the question? Is it a handheld game?
Yes, it is
I
a
didn't know
handheld game.
it is hand. You consider
Like
Handheld,
yeah,
when people-
yeah,
is your
if you
phone
go
a
by
handheld?
Jeff
people
Keighley's
think-
handheld mobile game award.
Well, let me say this. You said yes, and then we
did.
got it. So yeah, you did a good job.
I didn't want to mislead you because people think
No, I
Game
think
Boy or DS, 3DS.
Right.
Yeah.
I think mobile is just one of those handhelds sometimes people forget about.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So mobile is handheld gaming.
Yeah, because the whole not on Wii U, not on Switch. I was like, what the hell else could it be?
Yeah.
Mobile.
Yep.
You guys got there.
Good thing I asked that question.
Yeah.
Good job,
Proud of them.
everybody. Thank you for the suggestion, Matt Ford in Hanover, Pennsylvania. Mark, hit us with that address one more time for GameScoop 500.
Live.eventbrite.com. GameScoop 500 live at .eventbrite.com.
One more time without messing up.
With no error.
500 live.eventbrite.com.
And do you want to take a guess on 20 questions? You want to what
Me?
Game? Yeah. Do you want to take a guess?
Wait, what am I guessing?
The game.
That's going to be at the live thing?
No.
Okay.
Today's game.
I'm
We're
so
moving on. That is all the
Working.
scoops.
He's
that we
at
have.
negative points.
Is
now.
it Fallout Shelter?
That is all the
That's not
scoops.
bad.
It
It's on
wasn't
mobile.
Fallout
It was on handheld.
It wasn't
lost.
Fallout Shelter.
You wear
We got there.
That is all the scoops that we have for you this week. If you're one of our U.S. listeners, enjoy your long weekend. Play some games. Thank you, Tina. Thank you, Sam. Thank you, Mark. My name is Damon. This is IGN Game Scoop, and we're out.